President Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, our Zimbabwe, our Zimbabwe. I want to acknowledge, Mr. President, our cabinet colleagues from Zimbabwe, from Zambia, acknowledge our senior officials at all levels from Zimbabwe, from Zambia, many of whom have done a great job to make today's working visit possible. I want to acknowledge also other distinguished delegates to this very important engagement between two Siamese countries, Zambia and Zimbabwe. I must also acknowledge the media who do a great job to communicate not only to Zimbabweans, Zambians, to SADC, to Africa, but to the global community, reporting on what we are doing here today across the river. That's what we define, Your Excellency, when we talk about Zimbabwe, we say across the river. So, and you all know which river, the Zambezi River. So, Your Excellency, my dear brother, elder brother, President Mnangagwa, let me start or continue where you left your messaging to us by expressing our gratitude, congratulating you and your team, expressing our gratitude to you and your team for your warm welcome to the great city of Harare. I must say to you, Mr. President, I used to be a regular to this city in my previous life because I ran a firm called Coopers & Lybrand, and we had sister partners here that we used to visit each other quite often, and would come to Harare, meet in Bulawayo, meet in Mnyanga area there, so where we could strategize on how to deal with difficult employees on both sides of the river. But more important, that's a joke, how we could grow our businesses. Coopers & Lybrand here, Coopers & Lybrand in Zambia, Coopers & Lybrand in South Africa, in the whole region. So we actually had a regional partnership, which went very, very well. So we were regulars here. My colleagues were regulars in Lusaka, regulars in other cities in the region. So while as the political side was doing advancing work to advance regional cooperation, we also were advancing regional cooperation in the business side. So Harare is a very familiar city to some of us, and it's been gracious and always good to visit Harare, Your Excellency. So thank you for your warm welcome, and more importantly, for this occasion, which you have touched already, the graduation of our relationship, long-standing relationship. Mr. President, Your Excellency, many people talk of bilateral partnership post-independence. Zimbabwe and Zambia have been together pre-independence. Pre-independence. If you look at the historic sites in Zimbabwe, Monomtapa Kingdom, you look at the trade routes that time, in the Stone Age era, in the Iron Age era, you see the routes from here crossing the river in Chirundu in a place called Ingombeilede. Our people traded, lived together, actually raised families together across the river. So, Your Excellency, this upgrade from a joint permanent commission to the binational commission is a commendable development as we continue watering our relationship, our partnership. So we're grateful to your leadership, Mr. President, and your team, and also to our team for making this happen. And today we are having this meeting around the Binational Commission. Congratulations to the teams under the leadership of President Mnangagwa, and in a small way, my support to him as my elder and senior president. Congratulations to the two countries. Mr. President, as you touched, and I just echoing what you said, our shared identity, our solidarity, our deep bonds are just beginning to grow stronger and stronger. We need to walk the path those that came before us walked in our relationship. And I call the people of Zimbabwe, the people of Zambia, at a people-to-people level to continue deepening this partnership. Your Excellency, it happens at that level first. Governments are drawn from families, Zimbabwean families, Zambian families. That's where we who are elected in office come from. And the strength of our partnership should be anchored at the family levels, Zimbabwean and Zambian families. Then the bond is unbreakable, almost impossible. After all, in our private meeting with the President, I was asking how his family is, how my family is, and I did tell him that in Zambia, we live with ex-Zimbabweans. That's what I want to call them. A lot of colleagues that came from here in the difficult time, colonial time, have made Zambia their home. And we live together and actually love to raise children by marrying each other. And we are raising fantastic children. So, Mr. President, we are truly Siamese twins. We are truly connected at the umbilical cord. And what we should do is do what is natural, to do many other things together. We'll be more successful when we do more things together, because we have common shared resources, assets. Zambia and Zimbabwe are connected not just by roads. I didn't say road, by roads. Chirundu, Kariba, Victoria Falls. I heard what you said about the name, Your Excellency. But also Kazungula. So many other roads, the rail line, the historical BSA Campan rail line, the vision of from Cape to Cairo. This line comes through Zimbabwe, comes through Zambia. The iconic bridge in Livingstone, in Victoria Falls. The viewing knife-edge bridge. Excellent assets. We connected by air. We connected by waters. So how is it possible that the two can operate separately? It's not possible. What we want to see now, ministers of finance of Zambia, Zimbabwe, is to expand your counterparts, commerce. Doesn't matter the names we call them in Zimbabwe and Zambia, but those with the functional responsibilities in finance, investments, in trade, in commerce, in culture, and Your Excellency, in many other areas. Tourism, you touched on that. What we urge you is to get on with the job, to do many things that are yet to be done in developing our assets. Batoka Gorge project. We're tired of talking about it. We want to see steps taken to commence the works on that asset, great asset. Over 2,000 megawatts. I believe that's what we're talking about. Subject, obviously, at the behest of climate change effects. We need to see that. We need to see an improved, efficient, effective management of the Zambezi River Authority, the Kariba, North Bank Power Station, South Bank. Efficiencies around there. We need to see, Mr. President, we cannot be talking about a mining asset in South Africa which we co-own, and we're not developing that mine. The ministers of mines of our two countries must ensure that we get that asset into production. We need the resource endowment that is there. Your Excellency, Mr. President, you touched on a lot of things. There are issues around the frontiers. Marketing our products. In Zambia, we like referring to you here and us together, we say Zimzam. Zimzam. You hear Zambians say Zimzam, they're talking about Zimbabwe and Zambia. So, marketing our resource, great, rare gem of resource endowments in tourism, packaging these together. Get on with the work. That's what this binational commission is all about. Let's get on with the work, Mr. President. We are here to learn. My mines team is here to learn on how you are managing the lithium. I think you are ahead of us there on the lithium side. Just to let you know, Mr. President, we have embarked on the nationwide, the whole of Zambia's 752,000 square kilometers. We are doing a high-resolution geophysical mapping. And I want to apologize that sometimes we fly, you see yellow planes straying into the Zimbabwe territory. They are friendly planes. We are doing the high-resolution geophysical mapping. And we know that some of our mineral endowment in Zambia stray into Zimbabwe. I'm talking of seams. And it's true that Zimbabwean mineral occurrences also, the veins come into Zambia. That's true. So we would like to manage these resources together, Mr. President, exploit them in a way that will benefit the Zimbabwe economy, the Zambian economy, our two peoples, to help grow our economies. So, and that also entails security cooperation, Mr. President. We chatted about it in our holding room there. We would like the two security groups, and we broadly say security, all types of security, to deepen your cooperation. That's our instruction. That's our instruction. Where you feel there's a gray area, reach out to each other, conduct joint assessment missions. You're welcome to do that in Zambia, and I know we're welcome to do that in Zimbabwe, and I say joint, so that you can fill the gaps on information, gray areas, and you create an environment for the two countries to focus on our growth agenda for the Zim-Zam economy. You heard what I said, Zim-Zam economy. Our two economies. Mr. President, you touched on a very important issue, skills. Our young people, these Gen Zs, we want to keep them in school longer. Technical colleges and others. And our colleges in Zambia, and I know in Zimbabwe, are open both to Zimbabwean and Zambian students. And that's happening already. That's happening already. Mr. President, the new generation is following in the footsteps of those that came before them. I want to remind the President, and through him, you, who are seated here today. One time we had a meeting in Kasane, in Botswana. 4 of us. President Mnangagwa here, President Hage Geingob, the late, of Namibia, President of Botswana, Masisi, and myself. And the conversation started going, talking about schools, universities. And of the 4 of us, there was only one Jew in Jerusalem who was not part of what was common between the rest. So President Geingob, President, may so rest in peace, President Mnangagwa, and myself all were connected to the University of Zambia. All of us. Of course, he graduated long before me. So he's my senior even at the university, as he is my senior in the presidency. So it just shows that these institutions are open to all our people of the 2 countries. I return to the table of guiding the ministers, PSCs, technical people. Get the job done in your area, in your functional responsibility, to grow this partnership. And the Binational Council provides a platform to do that. Take the duties between our 2 businesses. Take the duties out. Take the tariffs. While others are imposing tariffs, let's take the tariffs out. Then we'll have more growth transactions in our 2 countries. Mr. President, we are talking of the Africa Free Trade Area. Africa trades the least with itself as a continent. And we are all guilty because we don't trade as much between Zambia and Zimbabwe. So if we are talking of Africa Free Trade Area, it must start with Zimzam and other neighbors in the SADC. So I believe the teams before us have done their job to open up trade. And Mr. President, Your Excellency, I have also a naughty message to give to our business community. That we 2 countries would like to see more joint investments in businesses in Zambia, Zambian businesses, Zimbabwean business, in businesses in Zimbabwe. We want to see more. When we talk of foreign direct investments, let's not think of Europe. Let's think of Zimzam. When we pool our capital together, it will be available quicker than waiting for longer periods through lengthy processes, checks here and there. Yet, if our 2 businesses, groups of businesses, work together and consciously, deliberately, intentionally decided that they will do more investments together in the 2 countries, and we can look beyond the 2 countries, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Mozambique, Malawi, South Africa, of course. We as a region, SADC will get stronger. The population is there. 350 million people plus in our SADC. This is our market. And Mr. President, in Zambia, we get angry. We don't want to hear anyone talking of us as a landlocked country. Zimzam, we are land-linked countries, excellent locations. No one should demean us because the transport corridors come through us. Talk of transport corridors, they come through us. So I think the ingredients are there, Your Excellency. I'm only emphasizing things you touched on. Let's get on the job. private sector. Business to business transaction. Let's give opportunities for jobs, for businesses to the people of Zimbabwe and Zambia, encouraging expansionist behavior between our two peoples, businesses and governments. Mr. President, I've issued a guidance to my Commerce Minister that anything that stands in the way of goods that are manufactured here and are in demand in Zambia must be removed. And I believe vice versa is what will happen. Electricity issues, we are hit by the shortage of electricity. We've asked my minister to work with his counterpart to make sure that the wheeling arrangements, transmission capability must be enhanced. And I think, I don't want to go into detail. That's for the ministers to help us through. I'm just stating, repeating what the president has said, which shows that we are aligned. If we are aligned with my elder and senior, not just senior at UNZA, but senior in leadership, you should be aligned. You, the ministers, must be aligned. You, the PSs, must be aligned. We borrowed an expression that if anyone is not aligned, it's not allowed. Quickly come into line. Your Excellency, I want to state very clearly here that Zambia reaffirms its unwavering support for the total lifting of sanctions against Zimbabwe. If these sanctions had their value at the time, the value has expired. We need Zimbabwe to exercise its desire to develop the economy, to support its people. Sanctions are standing in the way. I must say, Mr. President, those sanctions on Zimbabwe affect us because they limit what we can do with each other. So we have a vested interest. So that's our call. And that's why I acknowledge the media. Please carry the message. I think, Mr. President, having encouraged ourselves in all respects, you touched, and I want to repeat, peace, security, stability is the environment that will allow us to do what we're talking about here, what we're doing with the Binational Commission. Without peace, security, stability, and you gave the examples of Eastern DRC, Mr. President, next door, Cabo Delgado, both of us are neighbors to Mozambique, Cabo Delgado, northern Mozambique, where we all had sent our troops there. Instability anywhere is instability everywhere. You said it all. I will not waste time. You said it all, Mr. President. And I want to echo what you've said. Let's maintain peace, security, and stability in Zimbabwe, in Zambia, in SADC, on the continent of Africa, and globally. Because you've all seen the effect of the Ukraine-Russia war on us, on the continent. So we seek peace. The two countries talk peace. So we can have all the time we need and resources, skills to drive the development agenda. Nothing else. So we can offer opportunities to our two peoples, for jobs, for businesses, and also, Mr. President, to enhance treasury income, to support kids in school, the sick in hospitals, the old, the retired, those that live with disabilities. So this Binational Commission is about offering opportunities to our Zimzam citizens. These boundaries, Mr. President, were drawn for us, not by ourselves, but by other people. And they created a separation such like Zimbabweans are different from Zambians. No, we're not different. From my village in the south, if it weren't for the Lake Kariba which was constructed, in the dry season we used to walk, there's a point we used to walk across to go to Binga. Just walk over the Zambezi at the lower point of the river. So, but today I need a passport to go to Binga. And my relatives need a passport to come to Zambia. Aikona man, aikona. So, Mr. President, we celebrate the Univisa. That's the point I wanted to make. We celebrate the Univisa that allows our people to move freely, and they should do so. Maybe if there's anything else that stands in the way, we must deal with it. Otherwise, Mr. President, thank you very much. We are here to confirm to everybody that our partnership is excellent, our relationship is excellent. We want all of us to invest in it for the greater good of our citizens. I conclude again with a deep appreciation of you, Mr. President, Your Excellency, and the people of Zimbabwe's hospitality, and reaffirm Zambia's enduring partnership and commitment to strengthening our historic relationship. Viva Zimbabwe! Viva! Viva Zimbabwe! Viva! Viva Zambia! Viva! May God bless us all. Thank you.